Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Cardcraft. Thanks for joining me again today. Alright, let's get rid of some more 12x12s. Maybe some paper pads, some smaller ones with it, and all the rest. I've grabbed 4 sheets here. Now, they are all from the same range, but they don't need to be. I've just got a lot floating around that are all grouped together. So these all run into blues. What we're going to do, and I'll show you now with another 12x12 lot. This is just a little folder. It's great. You can fill it up with all your other little bits from the rest of your papers, be them the 12x12s, be them the smaller pads, but we need to start with the 12x12 to start with. So it ends up having lots and lots and lots of tags and everything, and they're so easy to make. Now you can either have these as a standalone option or actually adhere it onto your page and make another pocket or something on this side. Up to you. Very easy to do. So pick the page that you want as your base, so your start. So we want something that's preferably non-directional. Something like this is fine, but on the other side I've got this. So I'm going to use these ones as tags. Same with this one because of my anchors that go that way. That one of course all has writing, but will make wonderful tags. So I've got this one. Just about non-directional. That's fine because I've got, this can go either way. Same with my wave. So what I'm going to do is trim off my barcode strip, zip strip if you're in America, depending on where you're from, depends on what they're called, just so that I can get it back to a 12x12. Now I'm not going to use that one, that's fine. Always look at those bits. What we need to do is trim this back so that it is 12x10. You'll end up with a 2-inch strip. Work out whether you want that strip down the bottom, up the top. Okay, it makes no difference as long as it ends up being 12 inches across by 10 inches in height from either or. So just going to grab that, and I might actually take that darker edge off. So I'm just going to sit that into the 2-inch line. Yes, I'm trying to use a trimmer again just to try and make this quicker. We'll see if that works. Right, so now I've got my finished size. That one again, of course, can go to tags. All right, here's my finished size. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our bottom right-hand side. I'm going to sit this on my grid because I find it's a little bit easier. And I want to fold this one back to about an inch and a half, somewhere like that. So I'm going to use that as my marking. Yeah, about an inch will do. I'm going to bring this one up to my inch. Take it onto that so that it's nice and straight. I'm happy with that. Hold that down and then just finger crease along there. Okay, so I've got an inch still showing here. I've used my grid so that I can see where I'm going. Alright, I'm just going to now give that a nice solid crease. Now fold it like now turn it around so it's like, you know, the paper hats that we used to make. So that now we've got our bottom edge down here. So now what we want to do, this is our center. Okay, our 2 little tips up here are our center. So you can see I've got them round about. Let's move it a little bit over on my grid again. And I've got this tip right on a line. So this is my center section. It's at here that you want to work out whether you want this one 3 inches, 3.5, 4 inches, how wide you actually want your little folder. Okay, so this one that I've done has ended up being 3 3/4, just because that's the size I was going for maybe. Let's do a slightly wider one. Let's make it 4 inches wide so it still fits into most books. So if this is my center line, so you'll see it running down here, I want to take this out 2 inches this way and 2 inches that way. Okay, so there's 1 inch, because my mat is in 1/2 inch increments. So 1 inch, 2 inch, and I'm just going to sit that there so that I know where I'm going. I'm going to lift this bit up. It's starting to get very solid, so you need to put a little bit of oomph into it. Fold that back on itself so that it's down here. Give that a crease, like so. Okay, and again we're going 2 inches from our centre line again. There's our centre line, going over 2 inches. Now this guy is sitting here. We don't want him in there. We're going to chop that out. So I'm going to mark along here before I go any further, and I'm going to chop this bit out. We only want him the 4 inches. Because it's the centre fold, I'm going to take it a little bit less than 4 inches. So where were we? There. So I'm just going to trim that just a little bit. If you're using thinner paper, it's not going to matter as much. You'll be able to refold it completely. But because the scrapbook paper, the double-sided especially, is quite thick, it will take a little bit to fold. So if you can get rid of these bits to start with, it makes it just a little bit easier. Right, so now I'm going to fold this back as it was. There's that one. Sitting this in the centre again. I hope I haven't moved that down too far. Nope, beautiful. Alright, this one's going to do the same, so I'm going over my 2 inches from my centre. 1, 2, which is where that one is sitting. Set my ruler on it again, like so, and lift this one up. Does this make sense? I'm trying to go slow so that you get it as we're going. That one's going to be folded over. Give that a good solid crease. Again, use bone folder or something solid to really push down on it. So give that a really good push as you go. Just down like that. So now we've got that, and now we've got that. In essence, that's all it is. What we're going to do is trim off this extra section as well. Now you can do that with your scissors, you can do it with trimmer, blade, whatever. I'm going to do it with my knife because I'm just easier that way. And we're just going to go down. Don't cut into that fold. Right. So here's that. We don't want our little bits up the top. What we're going to do is trim this off just along here. So turning it back around on your grid, work out where these ones sit. If you folded it all just the way I've said, these will both match up. So now we're just going to trim those off right there. Straight across there. There we go. How hard was that? So in essence, look, I probably should have kept the darker green and it would have given more of a variation, but I quite like that. They're more my sort of tonings. What we're going to do to finish this one off is we will need a little bit of glue in here. I found it's easier with that because I want a pocket. If I set that here, I've got a pocket up here. We're going to glue these two down. I've got a pocket there, I've got a pocket there, and I've got a pocket there, but I kept finding that this wanted to move. So I tend to put a little bit of glue just in that top couple of inches. So just your normal white glue, or your liquid glue I should call it, shouldn't I? Now I've been using this all morning, I'm just checking that it's going, yes. So I just lift that up, follow along my crease line until it's at the top. There we go, and just hold that down. Like so. Okay, so now what we can do is we can do this one, from where it starts, just down That's that one. And on these ones, we want both of these. So we'll do a little one first. And because we've trimmed that off, if you need to trim a little bit more off to allow this to fold nicely, by all means, trim more of that off now before you glue it down. But you can see, if I lift that up, you can see I've got a little bit of a gap just in there where that creases so that it won't bind. If it's binding, you'll notice that it'll start to curl. So just trim a little bit more off. So now we're going to go from there and we're going to go down. There we go. Hold that so that it actually adheres it. As I said, it's scrapbook paper, so it's quite thick. So it might need holding for a little bit while it adheres. In essence, that's it. Those of you that are happy with just that, thank you very much for watching. Those of you that want to see me decorate it and work out how to do it, stick around and we'll decorate this. Now I've cut them out. Right, so the main sheet that had all those, you know, little sayings and all the rest, I've just cut that into strips, and I can either use them that way or I can still use them that way and pop some plain coffee dyed paper or something on the other side to cover that up to make a journaling spot. So that's those ones. The other three, what I've done is trim them to about 4 inches or less. I don't know. Yeah, less. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 and 5/8. Yeah, round about with all of them. Not quite 3.5. To start doing my other bits and pieces on these. So first thing first, I want this one to sit on here to bring that blue back. So I've cut it to the right size to give me a border both sides around here. I'll move that so it's not in your eyes. And what we're going to do is trim that so that it has the same amount. So I'm going to go about there. And I'm going to, down here, going to go to about there. Now I'll just join those 2 spots up. And we'll go from there. Since I was last talking to you, the weather has gone rather pooey. And it's pouring with rain. It's really, really windy, but I did manage to get the clothes off the line. Slightly wet. Now that would be me. I think the clothes fared better than me. Right, so that's that one that can go on there, and it's brought those blues back in. So to put that one on, all I need to do is use my glue stick with that one. Because this is just a base. It's not a pocket, it's just a base. So I'll just glue stick that one. And that gives me room to, or time to manoeuvre it so that I've got that nice even border, or close to, going all the way around. Just wipe all that down. Right, so that's that one. These ones, what I'd like is pocket here, and these will all be tags. So that's what I've got all these bits and bobs for. They're just beautiful colours. They really are beautiful colours. Quite like that deeper one. So I've got that one. I've got that one, which will give a little bit of deepness to it again as well. So let's do our top one in that. I'm actually going to trim it off there and do that as my top. I think might be a little bit easier on the eye, and it gives it a little bit of oomph, I suppose. So I'm just going to trim that down. Yeah, I like that on the top better. So size wise, I want it hanging out a little bit, and I'm just going to mark about there. We'll trim that bit off. So as I said, size wise, there is no real size wise. I tend to sit things on there. Now what I'm going to do is give that, now I've just got my old store card there with my 2 different sized bits on, and I find most times they are easier to use. So one side is a longer tag end. The other one's a shorter one depending on the size of the tag, and then I'll just turn it over so that they match. Top and bottom. And straight down. Right, and that just gives me a basic tag shape. That one's going to slide in there. Are you going to slide in there? Yes, you are. Do I want that a little bit smaller? Might be too high out, mightn't it? Now that I've got it in, I can't get it out. Yeah, that's just a little bit too high. We're going to trim a little bit off that again. It's about that. About that. That's because it was going in there. I want it in that one. That's where I want it, so that these start there. So I want that one to go in here. And this one's a little bit narrower, and I'm going to make it a little bit narrower again, and I'm going to finish this one about there. So I'm going to chop that about there. I'm going to find that pencil mark. I am. Is there any problem with darker? There it is. That can't be it. No, it's not it. There you go. Let's see if we can find that one again. I want to finish it about there, wasn't it? There it is. Right there. Alright, so let's have a look at where this one goes, and I might make this a little bit narrower again. Now I haven't glued my bottom section in there, I've just realised. So we better do that one, which is just this bit. Just so that they don't slide all the way through. I'm just going to lift that up and go down there. I am. When the glue comes out, there it is. Yep. Right, that's that one. Which might mean that I've measured that wrong again. It's going to need to come up to there. So I want that narrower, just slightly narrower, just so that they give them a little bit of dimension as we're going. Might go about there. This one can have just the smaller one. So I've gone to the smaller side this time. Like so. Right. Now by all means we can pop holes in these and we can have things hanging off them. When we get round to decorating, that's what we'll look at doing. But at the moment we're just popping in all of our bases so that we can see what we're working with. Let's see if we can work with a clean bench space, Kylie. So I need another one in here, one or two. Two might look nice. And I want a pocket going down there. Now I could still go back to that as a pocket. It's only going to be narrow. Got a pocket there. Or do I want to go down into that? I'm just going to have a look at that one. If I ink around it, we might be able to see a little bit better. There was no measurement. There was no measurement. That'll fit in there. That'll fit in there. I want to take a little bit off that. About that. Yep. About that. Yep. So if I ink around that, it might stand up. Stand up. It'd be cool if it stood up. It might stand out a little bit better. But I like those colours. When you do have, you're working with 12 by 12s and you get ones that are all from the same range, it does make things so much easier. I like that. I'm just going to glue that in to start with. It makes things so much easier from word go because everything you pick up is going to match in with what you're working with. You really don't have to think of colours and all the rest because if it's from one range, you know they're all going to match. Let's find the right lid. Right, turn that way. I want that there so that I've got even gap there, and an even gap just there. Now, these ones, whether they're going to be big enough, I might use one of those and salt in there. I love that. I really like that one. So let's have a look at that. And go back and decorate a little bit later on. So that one's going in there like that. And I want another one that's a taller tag in there. You can see where I'm going with this, surely. And I think I want my light ones on that side. I want my light one on that side. What do you got on that? New. I go that way with a light one on that way. That'll look nice, right? So that's going for that one. I want something with these. Let's go that one again, sitting up here. So he's going to finish round about there, which means he's going to tuck into about there. So you can see I've gone straight back to the guillotine again. I've not touched the trimmer. Nothing wrong with me. And I want this one to be about that, I think. Let's have a look. Yep, but you can actually go behind. Happy with that. That'll have a little something in it. On this side, I'm going to pop. Now, by all means, I could still pop another one down here like that. Let's have a look at something like that. What have we got left? We've got that one. That would look quite nice. So that needs to be about there. Even gap up, about to there. Pencil mark is there. That fits that, that fits that. That one will trim up about there. And this is why I like the trimmers. You can see that this is not a hard thing to do. The only hard thing to do is finding my little tiny pencil mark that I've just made each time. It's that one. Especially when there's little markings in the paper. I'm never quite certain whether I've got my pencil mark or whether I've just got one of the paper markings. That's going to sit in there. That's going to sit in there like that. I want to go from that corner down to about here. I'm going to do that one with my blade. There. Just that one up to that one. Like that. Yep, just like that. And again, I'm going to just ink that just so that it stands out a little bit better. Depending on the papers you're working with. The other one that I did that I showed you with the browns and the burgundy rusty reds, that sort of one, the really vintage looking one, I didn't ink anything on that. Aren't you proud of me? Not one piece of inking. Right. So that's that one. We need to glue that. I need to take out the gluey paper that's on that one. So you can go that side. Right. Bit of a glue stick. Now the other day I was cleaning out my studio. I'm forever cleaning it out, rearranging it, moving it, cleaning it out. I will at some stage find where I like everything and then show it to you all. But I bought a new little shelving trolley type thing. It's not on wheels, but it was just this nice little unit. Picked it up off Marketplace, nice and cheap, and I went, I really liked that. It was my dark timber and an iron type thing, so it was just beautiful. Had 3 shelves. I thought, oh, now that I've got it, what am I going to put on it? So I went through my other shelves where I've got baskets and baskets of things that are finished. that I need to sort out and sell off or put in journals or whatever else. So I started sorting them out. I've got more in the unfinished shelf than I have in the finished shelf, because I have so many that are like this that I've never then gone back and finished off the tags. So it's a great little unit. I can pick it up, move it over and sit it directly beside me at my desk, and this will be my rainy day one, or evenings where I know I can only spend a couple of hours in here or something like that. So I was astounded. I knew there'd be some unfinished, but I was astounded at the amount that were in there. I'm thinking I might keep those two square, just looking at that there. Could always round them, but I think at this stage I'm going to keep those square. This one needs, so even that's got enough difference, even though it's from the same paper. And I can do that. Well, let's have a look. It needs to be a bit narrower. We're going to go down there. I'll just chop that little bit off first. Into there. No, it needs to be quite a bit narrower because we don't want to foul that. So we don't want to come down further there because it'll make the pocket too narrow. So I'm going to bring it right back. I'm happy having extra space over here, but I don't want that to foul that. So that works. Let's go that way. Look how easy it is when you've got a few papers from one range. I'm just picking up, they just straight go on there. I haven't thought about any of these. All I did was chop a pile of them into 4 inches or just smaller, because I knew that's what would fit, that would then make it a little bit quicker. But everything else I've just been picking up here. These are still light enough that I can stamp on some of these if I want to, but you know, we'll come back and we'll decorate for those that want to decorate. You've then got the starting point where we're actually just making our little base unit. We're now filling our base unit, and then we will come back for those that want to, and we will decorate our base unit. How's that? Or decorate the finished product, I should say. So we've got our pockets, we've got our all our bits. I haven't got anything in that one yet. That one I want to pop a pocket on as well. Ooh. Do I go into the white? I liked that. I like that better. I'll go back with that one, can't I? So let's find a nice little piece in this. That one. I'm just going to go straight there. Mark that so that it's in a little bit. Just there. We better ink that one as well. There I was saying I wasn't going to ink anything, sorry. That one will go on there like that. I'll glue that one back down. Make sure I've got that the right way because I want that hole up there, yes. And down here. Okay. Don't know if you can hear that rain or not. It's settled down a little bit now. It's cold again. I've actually got a heater on again. Right. There we go. So that's that one. That's that one. I just need something in that one. And what I was looking at was that, wasn't it? Because I like that colour. So I need something that is about 3.5, a bit over. That one I haven't trimmed, so we'll trim that one. But I want this side. 3.5, a bit over. Let's just go 3 3/4 just to get it done to start with, because we can always trim it further down, but we can't add it back on. Oh, do you love that? That's pretty awesome. What have we got on that? The back of that? Right. So that side's going in there, like so. I'm going to turn this one into a tag. Can come up to about there so that they're all staggered, I suppose would be the best word for it. And we might make you a little bit narrower. So it's going to finish about there. I'm just going to chop that at that one, now that I can see where I want to finish it. I keep going from that side to that side to that side to that side. Did you notice? And I'm going to go that way up, which gives me more of that and less of that white. Yes. I'm thinking we're going to go into a tag. I have to anyway because I've made it too wide, but... So if I want a tag, I'm going to trim that down a little bit. Quite a lot. Quite a lot. Yeah, I like the angles of that. Let's do this one in the small one. Find the scissors, like so. Like so. I will ink around that to highlight that. And we can work out if we want to put holes in them, we want string hanging off them, and what we're all going to do with that. So I will run away and gather all those little implements. Yeah. And then we will decorate all those. I'll be back in a minute. So as you can see, I've been doing a little bit of cutting out, a little bit of prep work. Let's do this. So we'll open it up, we'll start at the top and work our way down. So we've got our large one. What I wanted to do with that, I have chopped up that sheet that had all the 3x4 inch ones. So some of them I'll use, some of them I may not use. What I want to do with this one, that's the back of that front one that we used. I want this to sit down here. I don't necessarily want to ink it, and I want that to go over that. Just like that. That's all I want to do with this one. So that's nice and easy. Find the glue stick again. I did debate about doing this as a pull-out one, and it will work. Before I glue it down, I'll show you what I mean. So we can technically just adhere that down like that, and then have that as a slide out. Okay, so you could have it as a slide out, as another bookmark in. Let's just do that, because you would have seen me just glue it all down. So let's just do that. So instead, we're just going to go straight down as though this was a belly band, okay? If that will come out. There we go. So we're going down one side. It's a lot less work if you're going to do it as a belly band. There's a lot less gluing. So, you know, whatever floats your boat. Slide that one out. I'm just going to sit this there so I can see round about where I want this to go. Needs to go up the right way. About there. Hold that down nice and tight so it'll hold that in. Like so. And then you've got this that can slide in and out if you want. I want it all the way down there, and I want it centered. So if I can keep it centered like so, we can then pop that back in. How's that? Nice and easy. Find the right bit for it to go in. Which then gives me all these different layers. So this one, I want that one, I think. just in there. I think that was the one that I wanted in there, and I'm just going to glue that one on. I've got no, just hold your knickers. I'll leave that one in there. Yep, that's what I want. I've got bits and pieces sitting everywhere. Yep. See, and this is what I get for sitting there and cutting things out and going, oh, I think I like that there. Oh, I like that there. And then putting them aside and not actually doing them at the time. Because I've been listening to a podcast at the same time. I want it up a little bit because I want that layering effect with them. That was the one. One's just going to go in there. Now, with my normal ones, see how I've got all these layers? This one, I've gone and cut out a couple of tabs. Now, these are just dies of tabs. I've run them through the big shop machine in some of the scraps that I had left over from this range. And I want this one on here like so. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue down the bottom of that. Like so. Right. Again, I will use my grid. I'll sit it on so that it's even. And we're going in one, in one. This is the middle here. So I can work out round about middle up there. Like so. And then I can turn that over and just put some glue on the other side. I've got a whale tail punch, but sometimes I find it's a little bit large. Maybe I need a smaller one. For tags and things occasionally. It depends on what I'm doing. So I still have all my dies so that I can do other sizes, other shapes. There we go. So that will now sit in there and give me more texture, more dimension and all the rest. Now, I've gone and found some stamps. Now, these are a darkroom door stamp and they're just the little inchies. And I'm looking at these ones, and what I want to do is stamp them out, cut them out and sit them on here. You'd think I would have stamped them out prior. So I've still got a little bit of this. Not much of this though, have I? Oh, yes I do. Here it is. It's all right. There we go. I'm gonna say I thought I had more of it. And I've been playing around with different inks, and I'm thinking I'm going to go the Stazon in the ultramarine, which will stand out beautifully with all of those. Might even put that on a block, which might make it a little bit easier. Not that size block. Let's go. Oh, that size block. Right. You didn't think I'd do something without stamping. Truly. Has to go in there somewhere. Now, the anchor is a solid stamp, which means that it's got lots of solid rubber area on it. So you can see the amount of ink that's on there. So what it means is that you'll get quite a bit of, I'll go up there and you can see, you'll get quite a bit of air bubbling under it. The only way that you will stop that is if you use a stamp platform where you can then keep re-inking and re-putting it back down. That way the ink will go in different places each time onto your paper. Nice. I like that. It's got a 2-set one. What's on the other one? We might chop that out as well. Ow. That's the other one. So you'll see in a minute once I've inked it up. So yeah, so these were inchies was what they were called. They were a sea theme one. I don't have them written down which ones they were. They were from a while ago, and they're darkroom door. Don't do a great deal of sea themed, but you know, this could go into a travel journal. Lovely, lovely. Right, sit you there. Sit you back on there. Close that lid on that pharma cloth. Right, what I'm thinking also, because I'm not going to use all of them, but I've got some of them, I'm thinking I might actually cut them with that border around them. So if I cut them down like that, up there, that should mean if I do one cut up through the centre, then what it'll do is I need to trim that one a bit more. It's just give me one cut through the centre. Does that make sense? Is that what I said? With the gap that's in the centres. Right, so if I just work my way right through the centre, let's have a look. Close enough. I do like that lighthouse. I like the shell. Let's cut all of these out and then we can play with them. I probably won't use the seahorse. It's not that I don't like seahorses, I just don't think it fits what I'm after here. So, what I'm after here. I have no idea what I'm after here. It all just keeps coming out. So, you know, if you've stuck with me this long, you know what I'm like. There is no rhyme nor reason, it just happens most times. And I'll still cut him out. He's a cutie. Right. So I've got all these lovely little bits. And it's what you can find floating around. I really like that lighthouse. How much could I see of that? Let's just tuck that back in because it's there, isn't it? Right. That's where that needs to be. So let's have a look. There even. I would like white. This one. Because it's so far apart. It's more like netting than anything else, isn't it? I'll just chop a bit of that. Let's have a look. I've got drawers stuck out of me this side and drawers out that side, and I'm now sitting in a very narrow little space. Don't try and get up early, Kylie. Thinking, hang on. Oh, I just had a thought. That's always a worry. Look at that. It's my net. All right. That'll work. That needs to go over it, which will hold it down a bit better. Middle, Kylie, middle. And that one down there. Happier with that. Let's just stick that bottom one on before I move it. I don't want too much going on down the bottom because otherwise it won't go in that pocket with the other one. Down here. About that far in, wasn't it? There we go. Now, what am I going to use to glue that down with? Thinking here. I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape on the back of that one. Just a bit. On the corner. Middle. little bit on that one. Turn that back over and see which side I want it on, that bit, just there. Like so. Okay. Now let's glue those two on. I'm going to use this so that I can get in and around it, I think. Like so. And get the fingers off it. Alright. Do believe the rain's stopped. Right, man, I can go down and do the groceries now. Okay. So now's the guess. We're going to try and pick these two up together without spreading that glue everywhere. So if I put you where I wanted you, which is about there, and then you about there. That's not straight. Ooh. I'm just going to attempt just a little bit of, I'll put a little bit of glue there, and I'm just going to rub it in with my finger so it's not in a big dollop, which will hold that in. And I better do the same with the bottom side before it tries to go back into that pocket. So just dab it out so that there's no big areas like that. Okay, just like that. And it's not sticky, so that's fine. And that was going over it, wasn't it? Over, behind. Behind was what that one was going. Oh yeah, like that. Now I had that one to go on there, but if I do that now that I've put that lighthouse on there, maybe I can do it on the side. Do it on the side? Let's do it on the side. Just so that we don't ruin our lighthouse now that we've got him on there. Right. Pull you up. Again, sit you on the grid. I don't need my dead smack middle now. I just want a line so that I've got this straight. So I actually want this about there now. Off to the side, make sure that that's nice and straight. Now we can glue the rest of it in. Like that. Pick that up, fold that over, and like that. Right over that side. There we go. Alright, I wanted that one down in there, but then I saw that, so I'm thinking maybe he goes on that side. I just want the little feet. I really like those. So it will fit in there. So I'm just going to chop off the feet, the thongs. Even though, would you believe, this is an Australian company, this paper range, and yet they've called them flip-flops, which is an American saying. Right, because we call them thongs. Alright, so that's that one. That one's going to tuck into there, just like that. I want something down there, and I'm thinking one of these. Just life is better. I never grabbed any of my wordings, so I've got a stamp there. Let's see how good a stamp I can do, because it's not got any sticky on the back, so I'm going to have to do it by hand. Just going to take that one back out. And we're going to go down like that. Alright, let's see how well we can do this. It is a permanent ink, because the best blue I have is it stays on. Awesome, cars. Alright. Let's have a look at how that's inked up. That looks a bit better. What they are old wooden block stamps that I haven't reattached. I've taken the wood block off them and I haven't reattached them to anything sticky to put on my acrylic blocks. So, oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Right. Okay, that's in there, that's in there. That one I had as writing, that was that one which went in the front of that. Sat down there like that, so again it was in that. So it all started to layer up. And I wanted something in there. Didn't do something for that one, did it? Oh, it was that one. But I need to trim a little bit of it off, because I like that bit on it. Right. Every summer has a story. That needs to go over, because I want them ins and outs and all the rest. And I'm thinking I might just... Let's give it a long one. Yeah, let's give that a long one, as in a long edge. Nope, the rain started again. I can hear it. It's getting darker by the minute. That gives me better angles. I'm happier with that. Just very quickly run around that. See what little stamped edges I've got again. So that's that one. That will go on there, won't it? So that life is better in flip-flops will go there. So let's just trim that down a bit. See, just always look at what you've got in all your bits and pieces for these. You'd be surprised. When you start looking at all your 12 by 12s, you'd be surprised with what you've got. A little bit at the bottom. Now we're testing the friendship cars. Like that. Ink around that, just so that I can see it on there. How are we going time-wise? It's a standard long Kylie video. Sorry. But I have given you chances to jump out. So we're doing this in 3 sections. Here we go. And I know I've got words somewhere, so I know I've got words somewhere. Actually, I'm going to use the anchor. I'm going to use the anchor on that. I've got sea themed words somewhere, and I will use those on there, but I will have to find them. I will find them and come back on and show you the finished one. So, how's that? 3, 4, 5 with a belly band, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hope you've enjoyed that one. I will jump back on in a minute when and if I find my little beach ones, because I know my other thing in there says, you know, life is better when you're a mermaid or something. So, you know, I will find them and we'll pop that on there. If I don't come back, you know, I haven't found them. So in case I don't come back, happy crafting. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Ta-da! Found it. Stamped it. Just got to cut it out. So let's just cut this out and stick this on. So the one that I've found, I've got a few different ones, but I just wanted this one, which is Let Your Dreams Set Sail. I don't know what the stamp set's from or anything else. Look, it could have even been a freebie that came in a magazine. And I've had it for a while and I don't think I'd used it at all. But I knew if I had it there long enough, one day I would use it. Look at that. I used it. Right. So that's just going to go in here like that. I'm not going to ink it because I didn't ink my anchor. So we're just going to glue that one on. Find somewhere that's not quite that gluey already on this book. Now we are done. Once again, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all very much. See you later. Bye.